The formation of Earth, a 4.6 billion year journey to create the blue planet. Imagine this. If Earth's entire history were compressed into a single 24-hour day, human civilization would appear only in the final few seconds before midnight. That means most of our planet's story unfolded long before humans ever existed. A story spanning more than 4.6 billion years. A story that began with stardust. With colossal explosions in the depths of space. With oceans of molten rock hotter than any furnace humanity has ever built. And with cataclysmic events powerful enough to wipe out nearly all life on Earth. This is the story of Earth's formation. The only world we know for certain that harbors life. Before Earth existed. About 4.6 billion years ago. There were no oceans. No sky. No forests. No life. In fact, there wasn't even an Earth. Somewhere within the vast Milky Way galaxy existed a giant cloud of hydrogen, helium, and cosmic dust. These atoms were not born by chance. They were the remnants of ancient stars that had lived and died billions of years earlier. When massive stars reached the end of their lives, they exploded as supernovae, scattering their material across the universe. The elements that make up our bodies today, carbon, oxygen, iron, and calcium, were forged deep inside those long-dead stars. In a very real sense. We are made of stardust. Then, something triggered this enormous cloud to collapse under its own gravity. It began spinning faster and faster. Temperatures rose. Pressure increased. And at its center, a new star was born. That star would become our sun. The birth of Earth. Surrounding the young sun was a vast rotating disk of gas, dust, and debris. Within this disk, trillions of tiny particles constantly collided. At first they were smaller than grains of sand. Then pebbles. Then enormous rocky bodies stretching for kilometers. For millions of years, these collisions continued endlessly. The growing objects pulled in more material through gravity, becoming larger and larger. One of them would eventually become Earth. Around 4.54 billion years ago, our planet was born. But it looked nothing like the world we know today. It was a true hellscape. Surface temperatures reached thousands of degrees Celsius. Molten rock covered the landscape. Meteorites bombarded the planet relentlessly. The sky glowed red with heat, ash, and toxic gases. There was nowhere life could survive. The collision that changed everything. While Earth was still young, a cosmic disaster unfolded. A protoplanet nearly the size of Mars was hurtling through space toward Earth. Scientists call it Theia. The collision occurred at tens of thousands of kilometers per hour. The energy released was beyond imagination. A large portion of Earth's surface was instantly vaporized. Billions of tons of molten rock were blasted into space. 4 months afterward, Earth resembled a giant ball of fire. Yet from this catastrophe came something extraordinary. The debris orbiting Earth gradually gathered together. Piece by piece. Rock by rock. Until it formed the Moon. The celestial companion that has remained by Earth's side for more than 4 billion years. Without the Moon, Earth's climate could have been far more chaotic. Life as we know it may never have emerged. The rain that lasted millions of years. Over time, Earth slowly cooled. Its first solid crust began to form. Massive volcanoes erupted continuously across the young planet. They released enormous amounts of water vapor into the atmosphere. Eventually, temperatures dropped enough for something remarkable to happen. Rain began to fall. Not for hours. Not for days. But for millions of years. Water accumulated in low-lying regions. The first oceans were born. For the first time in planetary history, liquid water covered Earth's surface. And that would become the foundation of all life. The greatest mystery, the origin of life. Even today, scientists do not know exactly how life began. Perhaps it emerged in warm volcanic pools. Perhaps it originated around deep-sea hydrothermal vents. Or perhaps some of life's essential ingredients arrived aboard meteorites from space. Whatever the answer may be. Around 3.8 billion years ago, the first living cells appeared. They were incredibly simple. So simple that they were barely distinguishable from ordinary chemical reactions. Yet from those microscopic organisms, all life on Earth would eventually evolve. From blue whales to eagles. From tropical rainforests to human beings. Every living creature shares a common ancestor hidden deep within Earth's ancient past. The oxygen revolution. For nearly 2 billion years, Earth's atmosphere contained almost no oxygen. If humans had existed then, we would have suffocated instantly. But a tiny group of organisms changed everything. They learned how to harness sunlight for energy. This process is called photosynthesis. And its byproduct was oxygen. At first, oxygen levels remained extremely low. But over millions of years, they steadily increased. The atmosphere transformed. The ozone layer formed. Earth became a far more hospitable place for complex life. It was one of the most important turning points in the history of our planet. The explosion of life. Around 540 million years ago, life suddenly diversified at an extraordinary rate. The oceans became filled with strange and fascinating new creatures. Many developed eyes, skeletons, armor, and the ability to hunt. Evolution seemed to accelerate dramatically. Soon plants began colonizing land. Animals followed. The first forests appeared. Gigantic insects filled the skies. Life was expanding into every corner of the planet. The age of dinosaurs. About 230 million years ago, dinosaurs emerged. For the next 160 million years, they ruled the Earth. Some species stretched more than 30 meters in length. Others became highly specialized predators. They survived dramatic climate changes. They endured multiple extinction events. And they became one of the most successful groups of animals ever to walk the planet. Had humans existed during this era, survival would have been nearly impossible. The day the dinosaurs died. Approximately 66 million years ago, a gigantic asteroid struck Earth. It measured roughly 10 kilometers across. The impact unleashed energy equivalent to billions of nuclear bombs. Shockwaves raced across continents. Forests ignited. Dust and debris filled the atmosphere. Sunlight was blocked. Global temperatures plummeted. Entire ecosystems collapsed. Dinosaurs were not the only victims. Nearly 75% of all species on Earth disappeared. Yet from the ashes of destruction, a new chapter began. The rise of humankind. Mammals flourished. Evolution continued its relentless march forward. Eventually, around 300,000 years ago, modern humans appeared in Africa. If Earth's history were a 1,000-page book, human history would occupy only a few lines on the final page. Yet within that brief moment, humanity transformed the planet in unprecedented ways. We built cities, crossed oceans, conquered the skies, walked on the moon, and began searching the cosmos for life beyond Earth. Conclusion. From a cloud of cosmic dust, to a molten world, to the first oceans, to the first living cells, to dinosaurs, and finally, to humanity. This journey took more than 4.6 billion years. Every grain of sand, every drop of water, every living creature, is the result of an extraordinary chain of events stretching across billions of years. And when we look up at the night sky, perhaps the most astonishing fact is not how vast the universe truly is, but that we are here to witness it. Because after all the chaos, destruction, and transformation throughout cosmic history, Earth continues to spin. And its story is still being written. Be sure to subscribe and follow the channel for more fascinating discoveries and incredible stories from around the world.